other notebook is. As we go into this second game here, I am most, like, my focus is going to be on what LazyFeel and Andil are playing. Andil had a pretty tough Karma game, was caught out a lot. LazyFeel plays Misfortune, which is one of his top 4 played champions. The remaining ones are the Yunara, the Ezreal, which is fearlessly banned, and the Lucian. As it looks like we may have a small draft delay.
Yeah, looks like Rich just taking a moment to relax, as we can see. But thankfully, we didn't get into the draft really at all. And we're just going to have a redo of the draft music as well. I love that. Just get us, like, no one noticed, okay, that we were theoretically almost into the draft. We weren't. No. We are just going to get everyone back into the lobby, and we are right back into it once again. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Chichik Lol Park here for game number 2 of Bro versus KRX.
I couldn't tell if it was a Western fan or not, but there was a sign that said it's Brover.
Oh, it is.
KRX.
But everyone knows that it's never Brover while I'm breathing. And as it turns out, I am still breathing.
Yeah, he's still alive.
Yeah, Wolf can confirm. I have a pulse.
You really gave over Tezreal?
Oh, you are crazy. Well, let's do it. Let's, for the very first time, get into pick and ban for game number 2. All right, Rich looking so much more animated.
We saw Rich's annoyed face when the draft was stopped. Yeah. He's locked in now.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, yes, I am locked in, absolutely.
Exactly, and he's like, we are banning only top laners.
Yeah, isn't it crazy how they banned only top laners, and then Casting still got to get the Renekton match?
Yeah, and he also won lane and kind of was incredible in the game as well. It just shows
we're doing it again.
Oh, God, okay. Well, he won't be able to do that again, right?
Not with
he can't play Renekton.
Absolutely not.
It's genius.
Okay,
right.
Well, Ashe is going to be banned this time. So it looks like we're heading to a Lucian versus Lulu Yunara setup here, potentially. Which was denied by Hana Life last time around because they sold Emilio away and went Draven.
Yep.
But maybe this time Valdez will be going through his PTSD.
Well, we will have a Jarvan ban. Yep, there it is. That was what we saw in the last game. Obviously, both of the teams on the same sides with the same pick order.
Oh?
First pick, Rise.
Okay. Cassiopeia is gone.
Yeah.
I'm rising.
Exactly. Well,
Anivia is up, though, so that could be potentially problematic, although Anivia has fallen off a little bit, especially on our, like, if you're not on our top 3 teams, you're not really playing that much Anivia here in the LCK, as Lucian will go over to the side of Hanjin Brion, and they will be able to pair it with the Milio since they gave this over on second pick. They can't even take the Milio away. Vi.
All right.
I thought we were going to see the Lulu lane get slammed down. Now I'm really curious what LazyFeel is playing. As Rich is also just going to slam the Gnar as well.
All right, Blind Gnar going to be the option here. Counter pick for casting or for Roma is available if they do want to do that. The Anivia, like you were talking about, feels like the Rise answer.
Do they just pick Vayne right now?
I think they'd have to if they wanted. As it was banned, that ban was foregone for the Ashe. So if they do want the Vayne, I do think that representing Vayne, Lucian, Milio is just kind of like, what does that comp do? It's a little bit crazy. So the Nocturne is going to be the priority instead, and they're going to hide their solo lanes for the moment.
So LazyFeel, I don't even think you have to ban Yunara. You ban Lulu, and you ban maybe even Seraphine. I'm not sure what else they want to take away from this bottom lane to take away its power, as the Vayne will instantly be banned, of course.
Yep.
And maybe even a Tristana ban could be the last one, just to give some extra inherent safety here to Rich.
I'm very intrigued as to what Namgung wants to deny from this bottom lane.
Maybe just ban Yunara anyways, or... I mean, I really think you can just ban Seraphine and be like, look, there's just no ranged support.
Maybe Caitlyn. Yeah, Caitlyn. Okay.
Okay. Bard was gone, so I didn't find that as much of a threat, but...
It's just got a lot of range, so you can theoretically be safe. As Twisted Fate going to be denied here as well. Largely a top lane ban, I would credit.
Yes, I think so in this situation. So once again, majoritively a top lane setup here. Smolder has not been seen in the LCK, and it's been a problem. I think that champ is really overtuned right now on this patch, but it's going to be Anivia, at least here in the mid lane. Maybe Smolder top, I suppose. As it's going to be the Yunara.
Yunara Nautilus?
With what? I guess so.
Huh.
I mean, it is a Vi comp, so this kind of can work, but it is so scary what the laning phase can look like if you mess it up. And unfortunately, these two have not had the greatest laning phases, but much better in game one than their average. But it is Teddy's Lucian we are talking about. Because everybody's hovering talent. I don't know if I'm just not in on the joke or what, but it's been happening for like the last 3 weeks.
Is there a new Assassin's Creed out?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Sion is just going to be the lock-in here. Sion does take a bit of a beating from the Gnar, but is otherwise just going to weather the storm, and he will be okay. It's not exactly the highest range composition, but there's no real range on KMDRX's side either, so I kind of like what the bros have put together here with a lot of zone control. I kind of like the draft of KMDRX better because I think it's got a strong matchup for Rich on the top side. In the early levels, obviously you're ranged, you can chip away with your hyper procs. You have the Rise ability to play through sides, and you have Pick with Nautilus Vi, and a late game scaling AD carry that's going to do damage to everybody. You have two really good scaling picks, whereas the Anivia setup can be good. I feel like Bros comp is so hard to play. Like with what Hanjin put together, you have to like wall correctly and then follow up with your Lucian and dash forward, and you're doing a lot of complicated stuff with the Milio giving the extra range and looking for burst. The Sion is a great front line, but you don't have consistent scaling late game damage. Like Lucian can do a lot late game, but he's not going to be carrying team fights if the Yunara gets on top and is really breaking through everything, including the Sion with the Rise damage there. There's just more consistent damage. And Nivea is kind of like, I put that ult down and I hope they're stuck in it for a while. It's a little bit inconsistent the way that Hanjin put this together, but if it gets ahead, it plays itself. Yeah, and we've seen Gnar rise so many times in the past as well, right? Like if you get your timings right for these team fights, it can be absolutely devastating. But the Bromentum is so powerful, Wolf. Let's see whether it can be overcome. All right, here we are, ladies and gentlemen, onto the riff for game number 2 of 6, okay? We are all KMDRX fans. Even if you're a Bro fan, you're a KMDRX fan, right? Because we are fans of value.
Well, if Bro win 2-0, you get less Bro. So Hanjin Brio fans should be hoping for game 3, so you can get an extra Hanjin Brio game.
Yeah, and you don't need like game wins in a row. Like, is that really, like, who minds? It's matches in a row, okay? That's what we're looking for. You can still get to 6 even if you do drop a game here in this series. So it's completely fine. Don't worry about that particular record. Nah. Yeah, Teddy and Namgung are probably going to be in a pretty good spot in this lane, as Nautilus has a lot of knockups, so even at level 6, you're not exactly psyched in the Melio lane, but still they'll have the range advantage and, of course, the sustain advantage as well.
Andil is going to put on a shield and then leave.
Oh, he's got unsealed as well, instead of going for the Aftershock or anything like that. So we'll be a bit squishier even on the engages.
I'm not really a huge fan of that, but it can be useful for objectives and stuff like that later on.
Yeah, it means that you can also go for this Ignite that they've started off with for a bit more all-in potential.
Great if you are able to land a hook. He won't have that until level 2, so now he does, but there's a few minions blocking his opportunities.
And LazyField needs to hit the wave.
Yeah, I don't think that they're getting out of this pressure lane anytime soon.
Oh, wow. Teddy and Namgung are 3-0 on Lucian Milio.
They have been doing a lot of winning recently, and Lucian has also kind of cropped up recently as well.
There's a lot of 3-0. In fact, everyone's 3-0 except for Roma. Impressive here for the Bros.
Now, if you're a KMDRX fan, don't look at this.
Yeah, this is less good. There's a lot of 4s in the L column as the Bros find that level 3. Slurkle goes down, though, and there is the anchor to connect on to Teddy. They're looking for the turn, though, as there's a fire kick to try and stop LazyField from doing too much return damage. The Ignite goes down.
2 summoners for 1 here for the side of Bro, only using their heal. Teddy maintains barrier advantage. As Roamer is not going to Faker Egg, he is going to back.
Yeah.
Well, really only Faker likes to just kind of do a bunch of damage and then use his health there to basically say I have a second health bar in the early levels. He's just going to go grab a tier and a refillable and continue to lane.
Yep, teleports back in.
UCal doesn't have teleport, so it's a worthwhile back timing.
Ooh, Gideon. All right, looking for a bit of an angle here.
This could be game-breaking if this is successful. Andil.
This could be an anchor to the death chamber, but instead he gets fire kicked, and and the shield is there, but the Light Slinger was in the air, and Teddy locks down first blood on the Lucian. Patience pays off.
And if it's a Hanjin Brion early game, you can bet that Gideon is going to be getting involved in the lane with pressure early and making an impact.
Oh dear.
And even though it's just an early Nocturne, it's enough extra damage. And oh dear, I think does do it justice, as we do have a BF sword in Teddy's inventory.
Oh god, we saw this from aiming in our previous series. That is not a fun time for the enemies.
And he flashes, but Teddy is able to get the auto in the air with his own follow flash.
All right, there is a cull purchase for Lazy Feel, but look at this. It's like a huge sword versus a tiny sword. This is not really how you want the back situation.
The cull is a sickle, right?
It is a sickle.
Yeah.
Only really used for
pitiful.
harvesting grain.
Yeah, good at cutting like plants.
Yeah.
It's not a reaper's sickle, you know, attached. Like it's not a scythe. Is really the word I'm looking for here. It's just a little grass cutter.
Yeah. So
it's sharp. And if you harvest enough grass, you get the money from it, right? Like harvest.
yeah, and then you can buy a BF sword.
Yeah. So I mean, I like the investment.
Yeah. That being said,
but you're not fighting anybody
strong.
with it.
No.
Yeah, you're not fighting anybody with it. It's not great. Andil is going to get his Ignite back.
There we go.
But I don't know if he really wants to go in anymore. Teddy still has barrier, by the way, because he used his flash and not the barrier to get that kill.
Yeah, it wasn't under very much threat, as it was Andil just poking his head in, trying to stop some backs, and punished for it very, very well here for the bros.
The wave is not in a great spot for them either, but they are going to be able to come over here and help out this dragon, so they can turn that lane state into kind of technically prio.
Yep.
Dragon. Gideon surging towards level 6.
Yeah, not going to be able to paranoia in for any sort of steal, and probably would be suicide if he did anyway. As Teddy and Namgung actually just holding a freeze by the looks of things underneath this turret.
Continuing to say, all right, well, yeah, you guys got the dragon, but I'm still putting this in a really uncomfortable spot.
Well, that does mean that Willer is going to have a difficult time getting a gank to work out. He is quite close to level 6 himself. Actually, the timing alongside him and Gideon are very similar.
If they can keep this freeze for a little bit longer, I mean, Gideon could gank himself down here with his paranoia, but he's on the wrong side of the map for that right now.
Okay. Looks like this wave will start pushing back. As Lazy Feel and Andal, I think they still really want to get an all-in to work. Like, otherwise, I don't think the Nautilus lane really does anything.
Yeah. They have like one more chance.
They're falling further and further behind.
But I think now, you know, without level 6, you probably want to just wait until you can have that guaranteed big Yunara timing. As Gideon, if he doesn't get this, won't get 6. Roamer's going to come help out. Even a Realm Warp.
Yeah, he is going to roam on in there, as the Scuttler will go over to KMDRX. So congratulations, they got the prize.
I mean, they deny the Paranoia, which is potentially very high value. It's going to eventually come over here with this Wolf Camp, though.
Yep, we'll be able to grab it with Prompt if that is not enough. As Lazy Feel looking for a bit of damage here.
Actually, a decent amount of damage back onto Teddy, and that Ignite is still available. I think that Namgung, if he heals there, if Teddy has the dash, like Andil just dies, he gets burst down, so they need to back away. And that will be a bit of a CS advantage here for Teddy, about 13 or so after that last wave is thinned.
Oh, Yukal actually having that back interrupted is kind of annoying. Now he needs to stick around. Not a whole lot of mana here. He is going to step on over. There's Crystalline Overgrowth to grab a plate for Roma. And it looks like Willa, alongside Andor, were thinking about trying to stop Roma if he was going to play a little bit too greedy, but on the reset, we did have Namgung making his way up the lane as well, and a Paranoia available for Gideon. So it's a little bit more dangerous, even if it looks like the Anivia is alone. You mentioned the extra health bar, so you just need to make sure that you know that you can get the kill.
Some CS will be denied here. Starting to be a pretty hefty lead for Roma right now. And Gideon's moving to clear his bottom side of the jungle. If Teddy and Namgung bait an extended fight here, it could absolutely work out. The ward placement is not great in the river here for Bro, and Vi could sneak through. Also could go through the lane where they have Prio right now. So I think they're going to wait and see if they can get more information before they are the ones who pull the trigger. As it looks like maybe Willer will show on this ward, however. He does path north.
Yeah. on forward here. We do have the Drake not up for another 2 minutes time. So not doing a whole lot in the Dragon Pit. Was thinking about just getting over the wall to try and start something.
With the wards they have in the brushes here, they know that the Vi isn't close enough for them to get punished by that little short trade there, and it ends up being a lot of damage onto Andil. And he is going to be forced to back here. LazyFeel also just going to head back to the wave. Okay, they're a little bit split, and the jungler is missing. He's not here.
Yeah, fire kick fantastic there onto LazyFeel. Paranoia comes down. The dash was in, and the flash after him as Gideon goes underneath the turret. I'm not sure about that one, but he does get a warm hug, and that is going to help him stay alive. But LazyFeel is also able to live. Casting gets his shield back with his Soul Furnace, but this is looking a little rough in this top lane as well now that Rich has started to take some control.
LazyFeel is able to escape, but he's going to lose so many minions here, as well as he doesn't have his summoners anymore. And Romer is just controlling this mid lane so incredibly well early on in his first ever Nivea pick of the season. Things are just coming up all bro right now. Hanjin in a pretty commanding position. However, you know, the top side, Rich is generating a small lead up there. Wasn't able to get the kill pressure he was looking for, but they also get the grubs. It's a Scion comp, so that part, you know, isn't that interesting for Bro necessarily, but a Rise with grubs feels really good here for KRX.
Not to mention Nara in a side lane. Very, very happy about that one as well. So, should be pretty high value. They've taken every neutral objective, in fact, so far this game. Willer has been very, very good at making sure that he has full control. Gideon a little bit slow outside of that first blood that he helped contribute for. But obviously, that is very high value as Teddy is extraordinarily far ahead.
Yeah, we have not seen the Paranoia lead to a kill just yet, but they were able to get a lot of pressure down in that bottom lane. And I think with the pressure they can maintain there, and Romer's lead here in the mid lane, they can challenge for the second dragon. We'll be able to deny a double dragon.
Ooh, Willer hits his first item spike. Could be important here as Gideon pretty close, but not quite there yet. So it might be an opportunity here for KRX to grab themselves double dragon, like you're saying.
The teleport advantage is Rich's, so that could be the way that they circumvent the bottom side prio problem if they are going to fight for this. Ooh, that could have been really bad for you, Cal.
Yeah, Romer actually trying to get something back here, but not quite working. Glacial Storm coming on through. That should be double dragon, yeah.
They could not actually get anything in the mid lane. They know Rich has TP, and Namgung and Teddy could not set up a pick either. So despite LazyFeel losing Flash and being significantly behind in this lane, they bought 2 dragons of scaling time for this composition. So even though the gold lead is there for Bro, starting to feel pretty good about KRX's position as long as nothing goes wrong in the next few minutes here.
Yeah. And it's a Mountain Soul this game as well. My goodness, if Bro managed to stack up 4 of those, I don't think anyone's ever killing casting ever again. But KRX will actually become very, very durable in that case. And then maybe the Lucian, maybe the Anivia is not going to be enough damage to get through this KRX composition with so many brawly bruises on the squad. Could be very scary. So that is a dangerous soul to have represented. And the Bro is going to need to fight for this next one.
Agreed. And before that next dragon spawns, we will have the Rift Herald. So we'll see if LazyFeel can put together his first item. He's still pretty far away from finishing that late call here. Yeah, both of these mid laners are kind of, you know, they're looking for rods. It's going to be a while before they're really popping off in these fights either.
Would you say it's going to take them ages?
Yes.
Aha, good. Thank you.
I wanted to turn it into like an Oracle of Ages, Oracle of Seasons reference, but I couldn't really figure out how to link it. I was going to say maybe even Seasons, but that doesn't make sense.
Which one did you get?
I was Aegis.
Yeah, I got Aegis as well.
Nice.
I don't know why it just felt like the obvious choice back in the day, but it was.
I mean, I just feel like I knew the word seasons, and it felt kind of obvious to me. I was like, spring, summer. I was like, Aegis. That sounds interesting.
And Aegis is way longer than a season.
Yeah.
You know, so I felt like I was getting more value. 100%. All right, that's enough Zelda talk. Flash out from Roma. Avoids Willer here as he throws a Flash Frost in that isn't quite a Frostbite? Flash Frost? Flash Frost, I think.
Yes.
So they're all kind of very similar. 30 sort of
Rich
names.
Has generated a lot of gold advantage here from these plates as well. And the Snar, you know, they didn't get any kills or anything like that, is, like you said, going to be a side lane threat with the grubs. You can start to see it in the plates already. 3 down here.
Casting is just standing on vision. And Rich is just going to come on over and annoy him.
It's almost like they're trying to find out where Willer is so that they can make a dive happen bottom side, but they don't get the information they're looking for, and so they hold the aggression bottom side, and it's going to be Gideon just going back to clear his jungle.
Yeah, Casting is just doing his very best to hold on. And Drake, 2.5 minutes. KRX retain full vision control in the area, and they are fighting for it over and over again. They know that this Dragon win condition is a big deal, and they are holding onto it.
It's really, again, kind of tricky to pilot this Hanjin Brionne composition and take a while for the Anivia to be relevant. The Nocturne has not gotten the ultimate Hunter stacks here that you're hoping for. And the Scion is struggling to keep this turret alive with Grubs on the other side. And Lucian got ahead, but it doesn't feel like it, right? It doesn't feel like that's meant anything. He's 800 gold ahead in the bar. Like, he says he's 834 ahead of LazyField right now, but I'm like, I don't know. LazyField's got his Kraken Slayer. He's about to get his Cull cashed in 10, 11 CS here, and then that lead is going to be halved, and he's going to be ready to team fight. As they have a Vi composition here as well with Nautilus, it's very easy to look for picks. And LazyField's really good out of lane, as we all know, as we saw last game, as we've seen in mini games.
And look, he's not in lane. Like, even a little bit. He was in the river. Perfect. All right. Broma here towards his top side in possibly some danger, but it's Namgung that's going to be taking the most. Fire kick for the disengage is pretty good. As Gideon just going to be moving towards them. Decent spell shield there. As Rune Prison does come on down, it's like a fight on a couple of different fronts. As cease and desist comes in, as Willer crosses the fronts, and Rumor is put down to the egg. Teddy now rotating up. Can he actually get the damage through? That is the question, as LazyField also trying to get into position. That anchor was massive as they take down the Anivia. And Gideon, that is not a safety turret, not even a little bit, as he gets into the brush, but is going to be put into the death chamber immediately afterwards. And LazyField picks up his first kill of the game, and KRX launch themselves into the lead.
He's finished his Cull, and now he's got a gold lead. And it's, like I was saying before, Teddy's lead feels almost fake in this game because they don't have anything to set him up for success. He is going to be able to take a little bit of that gold back with a plate take in the mid lane. But this fight is so difficult for KRX to pilot because they're not set up in a great spot. The stun goes here onto the Vi, but she gets the passive shield. It gets on top of Roamer. They get the passive early. And Andil is just waiting for his moment, right? He's like, okay, waiting for it. Let's chip down this egg. And then he gets the prio target here on Namgung, forces him to flash. Gideon's so low, and Teddy just has to leave. Like, without any support, Teddy's not going to be able to stick around in this fight. He's going to get out-damaged, so he has to leave. But that hook on the Namgung was huge there for Andil. Playing one of his best picks on the Nautilus.
Yeah, looking absolutely fantastic in this mid-game. 2,000 gold the lead, and the Drake is live, and Will, as you can see, is about to start that one up. Teleport in for the bros. They know they can't give away this soul point.
Yeah, they have to fight. And Paranoia is coming up in 5 seconds. They got to find the target. And they
God, yeah. Casting just walks at him. The flash is going to get him to relative safety. But Andil is out of the fight. Willer has to give up on the Drake. The flash Q to come on through, and there's the Paranoia. Blast Cone is going to save him, though. And out will go the Yunara. Still, LazyField has no buttons left.
No sums and no health.
Does have 2 seconds left on the ulti, though. And now we'll have a dash back available. But as soon as Casting comes in, it is so scary. Andil gets into the backline, though, finds the depth charge. Sees an assist onto Teddy, but the Melio keeping him so healthy. Rich gets the Gnar and finds it onto everyone in the backline. The ulti comes through, but so late for Namgung. As they do take out Andil, Roma has to flash to get himself out of there. And Casting was just ignored throughout this entire fight. KRX, they take a couple of kills already, but they're looking for even more, as Vault Breaker just going to be enough to finish off the Lucian. And Casting, even in zombie form, not going to be threatening this Dragon, so that's the whole point.
KRX fans going wild in the audience, and take a look, when we look back at this fight at LazyField, has not died yet this game, does not die in this fight, despite getting caught by Casting here. Q comes through, he's over the wall. Plays
like
through
barrier flash.
Watch this. When he's trying to layer some damage in, they engage on him again, uses the blast cone here to disengage from Gideon, survives. And then it's like, okay, well, he doesn't have buttons. He's going to get his ult back. What's he going to do in the next part of the fight? Well, keep watching because he wants to put as much damage in here as possible. And now, okay, he's stunned. He's got a Rift Herald. Look what he does in this fight.
Oh, God.
I might not be an 80 carry anymore, but I'm going to cause a lot of disruption. He, as Yunara, goes in, gets the triple knockup for his team so that Willer can carry things, and then pops out and goes for the chase down here as Roamer is forced over the wall. And unfortunately, the Scion is just left out to dry. But Lazy Feel, amazing fight, despite getting caught initially.
Yeah, and man, they must teach you to drive much earlier in Vietnam, as that was absolutely fantastic. Joker as well, looking like he's pretty happy with this one. And we know series is between the Bros and KRX. They go the distance, and it's looking like it's possible. KRX, 4.2 thousand gold, Soul Point on the table. The Bros going to need a real big comeback here in this game to make this one work. Obviously, they did manage to do decently well when they fell behind in the last game. I think this is a very different story, though. Teddy does finally make it to 2 items, but Lazy Feel is, like, he's got a 5,500 gold lead, and it's looking like that may not change.
Well, I'm concerned now that the Vi is playing this well. Like, it's not about, like, the items, although she does just finish her second here. Willer is just playing really well. His target selection has been great. His timings to go in have been great. His shield passive and that earlier scrap on the top side, stuff like that. Like, he knows his limits. He knows where he can find those pressure points. And the Rise is becoming a problem. You know, now you've got to deal with UCal's damage as well. And this Scion is just not going to last once they start to get bigger and bigger.
Yeah. And yeah, the Vi Nautilus is just so frustrating for Milio as well, as he wants to be like cleansing stuns and stuff like that, but there is just only suppressions and knockups and all this annoying stuff that's not very cleansable.
It's the simplicity of the QMDRX draft, you know, as long as Lazy Feel positions well and they press their buttons, Teddy is going to have a hard time doing the damage. That's what playing Lucian is walking that tightrope between doing the damage and surviving, as we do have a Gnar in trouble.
Yeah, Rich, I think he's dead. There he goes, as Gideon turns up to a corpse. And that is going to be the turret falling down as well. The Bros finding a little bit of an inroad, but let's ignore elsewhere on the map as UCal is taking this out of turret.
Bounty Gold will go over to Bro from this, so it is a pretty big win for them, but it is going to be 2 turrets likely in exchange here. Look at Willer's positioning. Namgoon can do nothing. So, you know, 1 step forward, 2 steps back in terms of turrets, but at least they are able to get that Gnar off the map. Let's see how team fighting goes later on, because this is a different situation from the last game. Remember, QMDRX were having a bit of a struggle last game, but then had a great mid-game with Lazy Feel. And then he got caught by a Tempered Fate, and they lost the game. This is a Yunara comp. Like, this is one where he has a lot more agency, a lot more mobility. He's doing a lot more straight-up traditional 80 carry team fighting, whereas the Misfortune was kind of, I put a cone in this direction, my team sets me up. He has all the agency this time, and so punishing him is going to be a little bit more tricky, especially for Namgoon, who's played the Milio this time around. I think it's going to be more about the Nocturne. It's going to be more about Teddy. Can Teddy find those angles and judge the damage? Because he's behind on gold, and if Lazy Feel gets further ahead, if Teddy steps up, Lazy Feel's like, I press R, I press barrier, I kill you.
Yeah, and he's now almost 800 gold in the lead. That lead is only extending if KMDRX, as they take out all of these structures around the map. Map getting very dark here for the Bros, as Baron has spawned about a minute and a half ago. But the most important thing, so I don't know what I was trying to say, I said moan for no reason, as a minute left on this dragon, that is Mountain. So, I was going to say Mountain.
There you go.
And then
I thought you were trying to say moon for some reason.
Yeah, well, sometimes
Sun has set.
Yeah. He was a president here at some point.
Yes.
Very cool stuff. Okay.
The sun is setting on this comp for Bro, though. If they lose this final dragon here to QMDRX,
which Pokemon game did you get, Sun or Moon?
I think I got Sun. Even though I'm kind of a Moon guy, I was like, let's change it up.
Yeah, I got Moon. I was always like a Silver, and I felt like Silver and Moon were the same. Like, I didn't get Gold for that reason.
I was a Gold.
I'm glad we figured that one out. Okay, KMDRX now just continuing to clear mid-waves. Culling. The Bros realizing they have to make a proactive play, and casting goes in. Cease and desist though, as Teddy needs everything to survive, but he does do so. But he's looking on his last legs. The Realm Warp not exactly going to be taken by anyone. And Roma going to have to flash out of the way. KMDRX actually looking a little worse for wear, but casting does charge a big Q, but just doesn't have anyone there to help him out. And so it's just Zombie Scion against the world. And there is a stun onto UCal, but there is no follow-up. And the Bros lose their big tank.
Yeah, Teddy is going to take so long to get back to the Dragon when he gets his health back here that I think this is just going over to KRX. And maybe he could try to run over to Baron, but that also seems like a bridge too far at this point. Initially, I thought KRX were kind of messing this up because instead of fighting for Prio in their defensive turn, they wanted to really just fight mid-Prio. And LazyField takes so much damage here, but unfortunately, they did not calculate that Willard could come in at this kind of diagonal angle from the left there with maximum engage range. Teddy barely survives, but because he's so low, he can't really offer damage back in this fight. When the rest of the team is trying to turn this around, if Teddy was able to somehow layer damage in here, maybe they have a fight. Same with Romer. Like, if Romer's got his ultimate down over those 5 players, hey, maybe winnable, but instead, they're just too zoned away. KRX have Mountain Soul.
Oh, good.
And I don't think you can crack that with this comp anymore, bro.
It was already looking like the Bros did not have the damage.
Look at Andil's health bar. Saying, nope, definitely not going to be the Milio that gets through this.
No. Well, the Bros might give us our very first 6-game day of the season. Oh, the generosity knows no bounds for this team. As now I'm going with a bit of a fire kick here towards Willa. It's obviously not over yet. I mean, the Nexus is still up, but so are the bounties. And they've only taken 1 turret to the entire outer ring. KRX have taken down, and I feel like KM can just start Baron. And
yeah,
that's exactly what they're going to do.
They are going to do it now. They don't have that IE yet for LazyField, but they still do a ton of damage. Here's the TP from casting, as we are going to have potentially the last fight of the game here.
Yeah, Rich with a big shield, but Willa looking for that angle towards Teddy. The wall is going to block him off. As even in Mini-Na, why is Rich this tanky?
It's just really annoying to deal with. He's got Mountain Soul. He's level 16 now, and just very annoying as he continues to harass them, and they go for another start here. This time the culling is down. I mean, bro, you got to do something here. It's just, I don't know what the angle in is. Scion ult is going to help close the gap.
Well, casting, he can just get in there, as there's a Realm Warp, just looking for the flank angle as Teddy. All right, get behind that campfire as Namgun gets himself into a defensive position. That's a decent hook to get Andal in there as casting with a big cube. But LazyField dashes over the wall, finds Romer, puts him into the egg, and Rich gets the perfect flank. Willa gets into the back line. Oh, it is just glorious from KRX as they put the Bros down and look to finally secure the Baron and then find themselves a broken Bro base.
Yeah, this initially looked pretty worrying for KRX because it felt like just like game 1, they were kind of chasing through a choke point, didn't have the setup there, but the Realm Warp gets them into a position where even though they're forcing into the choke at the lead they have, they can get it done because Rich is on the flank. And
honestly, it was just played so well.
Like this Realm Warp comes over, now they've got both sides controlled, and it's impossible to collapse onto LazyField. And the Rich has his Narbar here, so he's able to set up this flank angle and really lock them down. Teddy's just trying to do damage where he can during the egg, but he gets caught by Rich. Fights back really well, but there's just too many threats. Then the Vi ult comes through, and Rich is just there with the follow-up, takes Teddy out. And LazyField, the way he played that, the way he played through his teammate's flank, staying out of the Realm Warp, just being the laser at the back, was really, really nice. And Bro played as best as they could there. But KRX just start the Baron again, and yes, Bro bought time, but the same result is upon them. They've got a Baron coming towards them at high speed, and this Baron power play is less important, I think, than maybe the potential open base.
Yeah, and it's an 8,000 gold lead here from KRX. It has been just up and to the right for these guys. A really, really clean game too. As the Bros just kind of floundering right now. They do have wave clear, right? They have an Anivia that's pretty well versed at clearing out these minions. The problem is they cannot answer the split, and we've been talking about it for a while. I mean, KRX's composition actually side lanes really, really well, as Rich is going to find a nice little Gnar onto casting. He has a 2-level advantage as well as he throws a house at the Lumberjack.
He's wasting some of their time here.
Yeah, trying to walk them away, but I have a feeling that he may die. Cease and desist is going to be invested. But I think it's probably worth as they do take a Bro member off the map, or at least turn him into a zombie for a few moments. Well, that should be enough to open up the base.
It could not really answer with the Scion into the Gnar on the side. Now with a dead Scion, there is really no answer. In fact, Teddy's going to come over here and try to do something as that wall is avoided. And, I mean, maybe they could end the game right here if they get an angle. And UCal is also pretty huge at this point. Very difficult to kill, very tanky with Mountain Soul and the Rocket Belt build.
This feels impossible for KRX to take damage. It's Teddy. He's going to try and at least get rid of the shield. He does manage to do so as Andal going to have his hook blocked by the wall. That was kind of beautiful there from Roma, but a little bit late to start with the cool plays because the Bros have their backs against the wall and KRX are just not looking very movable as another Crystallize does come down and Teddy just desperately clearing waves over and over again.
They're going to back. Elder's up in 55 seconds, or 55 seconds, I should say. So they don't want to give an opportunity for example, they missed a flank ward, somebody TPs behind, they get wiped, they lose Elder, they lose the game. They already got 2 inhibitors, and that's going to guarantee prio for Elder. I think this is the right call. It's very, you know, often that you want to push with the last vestiges of your Baron, like completely, and see what you can get done, because there's always a pick angle. Maybe you could just get one person, you end the game, but I think going for Elder here is the right call. Yeah, like they have everything you'd ever want. 10,000 gold lead, Mountain Soul, 2 inhibitors down. As long as they just snipe the Elder, the game is done.
Yep, they've taken every neutral objective this game, as there's a Realm Warp. UCal actually been so much better with these as the Paranoia does come on through. Cease and desist to get on top of Teddy. Let's see whether they can close in as they've thrown everything at him, and the depth charge is enough to actually take him down. Gideon slammed into the wall as KRX will just wipe out the Bros. It's a double for Lazy Feel. He's just free hitting onto this Scion. Takes him a fair bit to get on through him, but there is no threat to this Yunara whatsoever. And now I'm going, he just wants to skip away. You know, he's just going hiking. It's a Melio thing. It's fine. Just go kill the Nexus KRX and bring us to a game number 3 and a game number 6 for the very first time this season.
It's been a very, very long time, but here today, May 17th, 2026, KRX will not go 0-2 to the Bros tonight.
Nor have they gone 0-2 to the Bros ever, is what it feels like. As all right, we will get it. We will get the 3rd game as KRX. I mean, this was just a shutout from go to woe.
Took everything on the map. Then he started killing the champions too.
Yeah, UCal got a whole lot of work done this game, almost doubling his opposition. This Rise, like he has had some of the weirdest Realm Warps this season, but this game, almost all of them were game-winning. Like, it was really beautifully used.
여기 3번 앞으로 간다. 오른쪽 간다 이거. 나 루시안 볼게 이러고.
애니비아도 밑에.
루시안 봐서 앞에 왔어. 앞으로. 나 가연이야 이겨.
애니비아 봐야 될까?
3면 살면 끝난다 이거. 아 저 라인 끝날라겠다.
아 미드도 라인 있어 상관없어 얘들아. 이거 라인 살려서 그대로 가자. 미드 가야 돼.